Merry Christmas, gamers and nerds. It's John of Video Games in the World. First of all, before we begin the news of the week, I want to express my heartfelt condolences to the family, friends, and peers of Vince Zampella. Zampella was the very same man who brought us so many amazing games like Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Star Wars Jedi, Apex Legends, Titanfall, and Battlefield 6. Everything this man touched in the world of gaming turned into solid gold of epic and greatness. Let us forever remember him for the great person and developer that he was. Thank you so much for everything, Vince Zampella. May you rest in peace. And now, this is going to be the final weekly news of 2025. So, it was a good year. It had its ups and downs. But now, let us take this weekly news of 2025 for one last spin. So, let us begin. We know that at this year's Game Awards, the big winner was an RPG video game called Clair Obscure, Expedition 33, and even won Game of the Year. This game was developed by French studio Sandfall Interactive and published by Kepler Interactive. It is set in a dark fantasy Belle Epoque setting, following volunteers of Expedition 33 as they set out to destroy the Paintress, a being causing the yearly gommage, which erases those at or above an ever-decreasing age. This week, it has been reported that Clair Obscure Expedition 33 has been disqualified from the Indie Game Awards, with its previously awarded honors revoked following confirmation that generated AI tools were used during the game's development. Developers were required to confirm that no generative AI was used at any stage of development. Following the ceremony, it emerged that AI tools had been utilized, prompting organizers to reassess the game's eligibility. Reports indicate that the AI was used limited to early development, primarily for placeholders or temporary assets during prototyping. The studio has stated that no AI-generated content was intended to remain in the final release. However, the Indie Game Awards maintain that any undisclosed use of generative AI, regardless of scope or timing, violates their rules. Though it was revoked from the Indie Game Awards, Expedition 33's awards from the Game Awards were not removed. This is just for the Indie Game Awards, which is a separate award ceremony show. Now, some people are saying that this is what they get for using AI to develop the game. And right now, this is where I will be playing devil's advocate here. No, they did not use AI to develop the game. It was used for the placeholders during prototyping. Everything in the final product was made by real artists, writers, and coders. Stuff like this continues the debate of whether game developers should use AI or not when developing their video games. Truth is that the final product of the game was made by real artists, writers, and coders, as said. I'm not too fond of the use of AI because it's cheap, lazy, and unartistic, and takes away human artistry and work. But this thing is getting blown out of proportion. I still haven't played this game, but I will someday, because this game won multiple awards, and I'm sure that it is amazing, as they say. At the intro of this weekly news, I paid my respects to Vince Zampella's family, friends, and peers. For his family, this was not a very happy Christmas week as he died in a car crash which was caught on camera. I saw the video and it was a very tragic and disturbing thing to watch. Seeing how someone dies in a car accident is just horrible. Not a pretty sight. Zampella was a 55-year-old gaming titan whose work redefined the first-person shooter genre by bringing us games such as Medal of Honor, Call of Duty, Apex Legends, Titanfall, and was even involved with the Star Wars Jedi games. He made his first mark co-founding Infinity Ward in 2002, the studio that brought us the Call of Duty series of video games, which became a cultural phenomenon in the history of gaming. In 2010, he departed from Infinity Ward and co-founded Respawn Entertainment in 2010, where he shaped blockbuster hits like the Titanfall series, Apex Legends, and Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. Like I said at the intro, everything that Zampella touched in the world of gaming turned into a solid goal of epic and greatness. I got heavily into Call of Duty when I first played Call of Duty 2 back in 2006 when I was 19 and a half years old. Even more when I played the 2007 titled Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which I think it's one of the greatest titles in the franchise. His legacy will be forever remembered, so once again, my heart goes out to his family, friends, and peers. Once again, thank you for everything, Vince Zampella. May you rest in peace, and may your legacy live on forever, my friend. The Silent Hill series is one of the most influential survival horror video games ever made next to Resident Evil. I still remember playing the very first video game on a PlayStation when I was 13 years old during a summer vacation in New York in 1999, at the time when I was living in Santo Domingo, Dominican Republic. Now, after the success of Silent Hill F, Konami wants to take the series in a new direction beyond the foggy and spooky American town that we all knew since 1998. Except that Silent Hill is more focused on the supernatural, manifestation of inner darkness, repressed memories, and deep psychological horror. While Resident Evil is about corporate greed, unchecked science, bioterrorism, and the dark side of capitalism. Anyways, Konami is discussing different settings and locations such as Russia, Italy, South Korea, as well as Central and South America. The changes are because each location will tap into local mythology, folklore, and belief systems, and it will refresh the psychological horror game series with new cultural fears and themes. So this is a series reimagined on a global scale. It could be interesting to see different folklores and mythologies from different places, such as the legend of the Chupacabra in Central and South America. The Chupacabra, goat sucker in English, is a legendary creature from Latin American folklore known for attacking livestock and draining their blood, first reported in Puerto Rico in the 1990s, with sightings later spreading across the Americas. Many people describe it as a reptilian and bipedal being, but some would say that it's a disease that turned out to be animals, particularly coyotes, suffering from severe mange, a skin disease that causes hair loss and grotesque appearance. Some still believe in a mythical creature. Others believe it's a disease. Now, as a Dominican, I was born in the USA of Dominican parents and lived in the Dominican Republic from 1993 till 2006. I could imagine a Silent Hill game in the Dominican Republic taking on the mythological creature called La Ciguapa. The Ciguapa is a captivating female mythical creature known for her long hair that covers her body and her distinctive backward-facing feet, which create misleading tracks, making her elusive. She is described as a mysterious, seductive figure living in the mountains and forests who lures people, especially men, into the wilderness, usually to their deaths. I gotta say, it would be interesting to see that as well. Either the Chupacabra or the Ciguapa one day. And that's pretty much it for the weekly news, everyone. It is the final weekly news of 2025. I gotta say that 2025 had its ups and downs, and I pray that 2026 is a very good year for all of us. And I know that together we can overcome all odds. To quote Taylor Schilling of Orange is the New Black fame, what truly unites us is stronger than the forces that seek to divide us. So don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. This is John of Video Games in the World signing off. Merry Christmas, and I wish you all a Happy New Year 2026. Bye!